According to another report, the UK exported 57 kilograms of legal cocaine in 2016, far before the next most significant exporter, the Netherlands, which shipped out 13.7 kilograms exactly the same calendar year.
The UK is the world's biggest exporter of legal heroin and cocaine, new statistics show, prompting campaigners to call on the authorities to regulate the drug trade.
Britain also imported 330 kilograms of legal cocaine in 2016, about 83% of global demand, and accounted for almost half of cocaine consumption for medical purposes, 90 kilograms.
More than a ton of heroin was legally produced around the world in 2016, of which more than half was manufactured in the UK. It exported 535 kilograms of the opioid, about 85% of global exports. Switzerland was the biggest importer.
Steve Rolls, senior policy analyst at Transforum, a pro-regulation think tank, says the data shows the legalization and regulation of drugs can and does work. People often say, how would you legalize these drugs? You can just go, well, the legal production of these drugs already exists, he told The Independent.
All this carnage associated with the illegal cocaine and heroin market is unnecessary. We can show there are these legal markets that aren't associated with any of these problems of terrorism and crime and violence, stabbings on the streets of London and all the rest of it.
Heroin is still used as a painkiller in Britain, often as a pediatric nasal spray, while cocaine is sometimes used as a local anesthetic for minor ear, nose and throat surgery.
Because cocaine and heroin have been part of our medical history for an awfully long time, they are just still part of the pharmacopoeia and still in relatively common use, Mr. Rolls said. The emergence of the UK's legal drug trade figures comes as the risks associated with the illegal cocaine and heroin trade appear to be worsening.
An investigation by Vice revealed that the number of inpatients in UK hospitals with a primary diagnosis of mental and behavioural disorders due to use of cocaine has risen 90% in the last 4 years. Meanwhile, government figures showed the number of people who suffered heroin-related deaths more than doubled between 2012 and 2016.
With the UK's legal heroin and cocaine, there is no deforestation and toxic aerial spraying, no funding for paramilitary or terrorist groups, no enrichment of violent cartels, no exploitation of impoverished drug couriers, no street dealing and gang violence, and no adulterated drugs or sharing of dirty needles in back streets, Mr. Rolls said. These problems are entirely created by prohibition, and they disappear when these drugs are strictly regulated and taxed.
Drug prohibition doesn't get rid of drugs, it just hands the market to criminals and makes it vastly more dirty and dangerous. We know what effective regulation looks like, we only have to look at our world-beating legal industry.
We have a choice: we can leave the trade in the hands of organized criminals and unregulated dealers, or we make them available through doctors, pharmacists or licensed retailers. There's no third option where heroin and cocaine magically disappear.
According to the International Narcotics Control Board's report, Peru is the only country in the world legally exporting coca leaf, the plant which contains the cocaine alkaloid.
The U.S. is the only country which imports Peru's coca leaf, about 133 tons in 2016, which is used to extract flavoring agents and manufacture the drug as a byproduct. The UK and other countries are then able to import the finished product from America.